who are here with us tonight. Ziggy and Itai, welcome.
Thank you, Graham. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for having us. Let's just move it up here. So yes, as Graham said, today we're going to talk about AI and how to harness it as your superpower. Okay, because it really is. When you find out some of what it does, it's mind-blowing. How many people here are starting to play with AI or ChatGPT? Anybody? Yeah. Is there anybody that uses it even more advanced in ChatGPT? Very cool. All right, great. So you guys we'll be talking a lot about other applications. A lot of people think it's just GPT, and there's so many more. At this point, there's literally thousands. We know this.
That's not a great likeness of Itai, by the way.
That's not a...
The question is who's who. You make it so looks more like this, so yeah. I'm connected to my pen and inside it.
So, my name is Ziggy. I'm a serial tech entrepreneur. I hold 4 tech patents in augmented reality and stereoscopic 3D. I come from Los Angeles. I was there for 48 years and moved to Texas for a couple of years before we moved here a year ago. Married, 2 daughters, got a 6 and 8-year-old, and we came here to give them a better life. And yeah, through my career, I've worked with many industries, mostly tech, advertising, and sales. I was a creative director and art director at heart for 35 years. So what I bring to the table is usually just tech minds build things that work really well and aren't marketable. And then artists and designers build beautiful things that nobody wants. So marrying the two is kind of a strength of mine.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. My name is Itai, and I'm a co-founder of 2 companies that focus on AI automation and scalable learning systems. What I usually do is I try to help different companies to optimize what they actually do, the operation, to cut costs, and to drive growth through some intelligent system and automation. For the last 20 years, I've been building and leading training teams, business operation, and scalable systems. Before that, I used to be a Krav Maga instructor. For those who don't know, Krav Maga is an Israeli self-defense combat system. And I bring to what I do the same discipline I used to do when I did Krav Maga. I moved here about almost a year ago, and I start meeting people and trying to kind of bring what I do to Portugal. And along the way, I met Ziggy, our kids going to the same school. And we kind of start talking AI with each other. And this part you tell is better, so you can tell me from...
The reason we started this, by the way, is because when you come here, how do you meet your friends? It's usually the parents of the schools. So we started meeting all the parents. And as you guys know, many expats that come to live here, they either have a really thriving business at home, and then they came here and they want to try to figure something else, or their spouse might, or vice versa. We started realizing the startups, the ones that came here to start something new, weren't looking at AI at all. And then it was wild to see that the successful companies that are already thriving, and they came here, they're just now starting to harness it. So in learning that, we thought it was crazy. We started helping people one-on-one, and they just said, hey, you should put together a seminar. So at the heart of it, we just kind of wanted, for us, it's a lead generation. We have to meet new people. It was key for us to come to this country and meet, people that are business owners, and see if there's like-minded, things that we could work on together. And the common thread we saw that there were people saying, like, how can we use this for us? So what we're going to show you is not just broad; it's also very specific for each industry. I'll go to the next one. All right, so this changes everything. AI, right? It is the most powerful and disruptive technology since the atomic bomb. Okay. It isn't coming. People say it's coming. It is here, and it's here big. It started a few years ago, GPT. Within the first month or two, it had 100 million users. There's now over 500 million people using it daily. So you have to think about that. Are using it. Over 60% of businesses are already implementing the tools in their operations. Okay, so feels, don't be scared because it's still very early. But if you're not even adopting it at all yet in your business, it's an issue because your competition is, without a doubt.
Yeah. And if you don't want to take our words for it.
Yeah, so we put this video together for you.
If I was 16, 18, 20, 21, starting today, I will spend every waking minute learning about AI. Even if I'm sleeping, I'm listening to podcasts learning about AI, trying everything.
If you're not engaging AI actively and aggressively, you're doing it wrong. You're not going to lose your job to AI. You're going to lose your job to somebody who uses AI.
What is it that you're doing at Amazon? AI. There are a few things, but it's 95% AI.
Right now, the majority of this room is demonizing AI. They are scared of what AI is going to do and how it's going to take their money. I've just spent 15 years building the largest independent advertising agency in the world. From zero to $350 million a year we'll do. I don't want this to happen either. I just realized I have no choice.
So these are several big billionaires you might recognize.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. You know, when Jeff Bezos says 90% of his company now is AI, it's real. Because they know if they don't adapt quick, they'll lose. And for any of you who might have a more thriving business who's been around for a while, right, a little bit more legacy business, it's harder. You have to move even faster. Because the issue is today, startups, they have a new chance against the takeover. Because with AI, you can be very nimble. You can build something, have an idea, put it out there, see if it works, and move on if it doesn't. Where the big companies can't be that nimble, right? They have infrastructure, right? So it's an interesting bit, but if you are a big company, there's a lot you can do and should be doing. But, here, let me go to the next one. So, as they said, who will be left behind? So AI will not take your job, okay? Right now, but if you're an employee and not a business owner, people that know AI will take your job. That is for sure, it's happening already. I have a company in the US, I laid off 12 people in the last month and a half. So now I hit home. One of them my sister and a lot of best friends. And there's nothing you can do because we had to adopt AI in our company to show all the efficiencies, and my partner and CEO said something very interesting. He goes, this is amazing, then why do we need all of them? And I was like, oh no, like now it's home. And we had to have the conversation, and the company used to be a 24-man company, down to 12, it's down to 4. Right? And by the way, down to 4, 30 times more productive than with the people. So it's very sad, but it is right? So now competitors using AI will move faster than those that don't. So we're talking about the company. And then the good news is entrepreneurs and people, you're here. At least you're taking that initiative, right? That step. You're here, you're towards the right step, and we'll show you how that applies. All right, so here's the thing. You were talking about prompting, right, Graham? So you might also, it's a little intimidating, right? Because I don't know if you guys have AI feeds on your YouTube or your social media, but you always hear about prompting, Write it this way, write it that way. So it starts feeling very overwhelming, and maybe you don't even start. That's all nonsense. For the level of getting started and even beyond, just talk to it. It's just a conversation. Okay, and it's getting so good that it'll end up being even more of just a conversation. So we want to show you an interesting, and you don't have to worry about spelling and grammar. It learns who you are, it learns your natural voice. So people start saying, I want to start a business or something. What do I do? And people try to sell you courses on how to prompt. You don't need any of that. So we'll do a little demo real quick. It's not showing. Use the children. Oh, no, one sec, sorry. All right, hang on there. Oh, yeah. First mic. Yeah, you can. At the bottom. I don't have anything about it. This one. Yeah, nice. Okay. So, hey, I want to start this business. I was talking about the iced coffee business for a while, the chill bean. I'm thinking of starting a newsletter. I don't know. No, maybe I'll do a sandwich shop. Nah, let's do it. We'll do the coffee business. So I want to start a newsletter. Why don't you give me 5 topics that I can use as content to attract new customers for my newsletter? And while you're at it, I love the name Chill Bean. Give me 5 slogans or, slogans for the company. So, unstructured, just talk, step, pause, it doesn't matter, right? It gets you. You doing it anymore? No. Oops. Check. Let's see if that works. Okay, we'll do it again. I'll do it faster this time. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. Okay, so I have a company called the Chill Bean. That's an iced coffee company here in the Algarve. I need 5 slogans for the coffee shop, and then I also think a newsletter would be a good idea. Why don't you give me 5 different topics that would attract customers?
Of course you can write, but we're lazy.
We're lazy, so
And it's easier for us that you'll understand us. Even if you make grammar mistake, doesn't matter. You click it, you can mumble, you can say whatever you want, and within seconds, you won't have connection fail.
So 5 strong slogans for the Chill Bean, right? And they're pretty good, right? Sip, chill, repeat. It tells you why. It's simple, it's clean, right? And you guys can read all those, right? Where coffee meets coastline. Pretty good ones, and if you don't like it, you could remix it. And then like newsletter topics, for instance. So these are your different topics. Now, why don't you just say, you know, I love topic number 1. Why don't you create the blog entry?
Okay, I like the first topic for the newsletter. Let's try to expand on it. I want you to write the whole thing. Just remember that I moved to Portugal in Algarve, so try to make some connection to it. Doesn't have to be, but I think it would be better. What do you think?
And it's just gonna go. Right now, as a marketer, and I've been doing this for 30 plus years, that takes a lot of time to come up with slogans, good slogans, you know? And then you might
think how long it is.
yeah, like there's a newsletter entry. It takes a lot of time, let alone, you know, figuring out what you're gonna write, you have to do research. And the way it basically does it is, look, the way I say is you have someone smarter than someone. So, you know, I call it robot, but I start saying he and she, which is weird, it's not human. But you have someone in your pocket that's 500 times smarter than Einstein and faster. It's growing at an insane rate of 500 million people every day making it smarter. Every day. Like it's wild what this did a month ago and what it does today. So what it does is, right, it takes the guesswork out of it. It knows coffee. It's done so many, it just immediately scours the internet. It has all data points of different coffee companies, which worked, which didn't. If I really wanted to get granular, I'd say only give me ones with high 5 reviews, weed out the this, the that, but it's getting better now. So what we would be guessing of what might work, it knows, and by the way, it already knows he lives here, so you didn't have to say that, but it knows Algarve, region, European, not American, how do they react to coffee, what language worked in the past, and has just millions of data points, and comes up with a better suggestion than we can ever do. It's still, I said 20, it was 20% 6 months ago, it's still 15% wrong, okay? It does a thing called hallucinating. You still have to be in your game. You know, we would like to just take it and whatever it gives you. And again, 85% right is great, and people are more than 15% wrong sometimes. But you have to watch out what it comes with. You have to proof it. You have to know your own business. You know, careful with legal and stuff. We use it. We saved probably $300,000 with legal in the last 6 months. But for the important ones, we're still going to take it to the lawyer. But now we don't have to pay him $1,000 an hour to write the whole thing. He just has to prove it, right? So the point is, you know, you still have to be careful. But at the end of the day, it is just talking to it, right? And it'll learn, and it has what's called a memory now. We don't have to say anymore, oh, remember I have a daughter? It knows everything. It knows the daughter, it knows where we live, and I forget. He said, by the way, we're in the Algarve. He knows, right? It's pretty amazing stuff. And then there's a secret to this, there's some little hacks. A good thing to do is actually ask it to ask you questions. And by the way, we're gonna share this with everybody. So afterwards, we'll give you a QR code. You can take pictures if you want. We're actually going to give this off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can go back now, and let's say this.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't think I want to do the coffee thing. Let's do a pastry shop, but this time, ask me all the questions that you need to know to help you do your job better. I need you to be completely comprehensive. I'm going to need to know everything. I want business model, I want financials, I want market analysis, I want name ideas, I want product ideas. Ask me any questions that'll make your job better. Do that. Now we don't have to guess, right? You answer this question, it's going to come up with such a comprehensive plan. So, the heat's got me.
You can connect.
There you woke up. So it's
But I don't like the way that it's very
Go up. Core foundation. He's gonna ask you things. What's right? What's driving this? Do you have this? Do you plan on having hands on a daily operation? If you just go down one by one by one by one, it's going to come up with the most amazing plan. Right? And then if that's too much, you tell me what.
I don't like it when you ask me all the questions at once. Ask me the questions one at a time. The minute I answer a question, move to the next one. Because sometimes it can be too overwhelming, but you have like 30 questions that you need to answer. So just ask him to ask you one at a time. And the funny thing is, by the time that you'll answer this one, maybe we'll change the order of the questions that he asked before, because now it's more driven to whatever information you give him.
Next slide. By the way, if you have any questions along the way, feel free to jump in. We'll do a Q&A afterwards as well. Overwhelmed with clarity. So this is interesting because we also meet with people that say, okay, well, I make candles and I sell them at the market. What's AI going to do for me, right? So it's about reclaiming your time, right? How much time do you spend on jumping? How much time do you spend on bills? How much time do you spend on reading lawyers? How much time do you spend on reading contracts? I mean, hours. So if it's even just to clear up your time and give you more clarity to think, to be clear about the things that are important for your business, that's major. So I'll show you guys a demo. And this will be this. So I'll set it up while you maybe grab it and all that. So I'm not a reader, you know, and my last company got acquired by a company called Stay Healthy. I have an augmented reality company. I'm a tech guy and I'm a marketing guy and an artist. Now I'm president of Stay Healthy. I can't even spell healthcare. I promise you. It's horrible. It's a crime. But, you know, they needed the tech guy to build systems that helps using AI and stuff that helps the industry. So my CEO, who is a reader, goes and he hands me this document. I want to open it first and scroll down. How many pages is that thing? 67 pages. Ziggy gave it to me at 9 a.m. and he said, listen, we have a meeting at 2 p.m. Read it and give me a report. I should just quit because he won't get that in a week. I don't have the brain to stop me. So now we're going to drop that in there. Yeah. I'm just going to drop it in here. And we're going to ask it from there. All right, so we drop it in and I'll ask a question. Hey, my crazy boss wants me to read this 67-page document and have it ready for him by noon, which is insane. So I want you to read everything, analyze it. I need you to break it down for me in simple bullet points so I can understand and not miss anything. And then I need you to write me a very relaxed note, not too formal, because me and him have a very casual relation. I need you to write a report that I can send him an email that proves to him that I understand what I read. 67 pages. It's going to be done in 9 seconds. It's a superpower, right? So if we don't use it, if it's just to free up our time, imagine everything we could have done, right? I could go to the beach, pretend I'm reading it.
Can I ask you?
Yeah, for sure.
When it's a big image, it's heavy. Like this, is the same or is different?
It can analyze images, it can analyze text. Again, we're doing kind
Some
of,
of them even videos.
oh, definitely
But
videos.
then it's not so easy for him to answer because when you use more memory, right?
When you pay for the $20 a month,
Okay.
you get
I'm using
the free version,
The
correct?
free one will let you to upload 1-2 images a day because they want you to get used to it and do the
Okay,
subscription.
so in the one that is paid,
Yes.
we don't have the normal.
No.
So it's the same for.
Last week, for the first time in my life, I created a network.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. Screenshot, 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 step by step. 1 or 2 hours later, everything is set.
Yeah, it's wild.
I took 60 images or 70 images.
Okay.
Images, video, live video.
Yeah.
You could turn the camera on. I got my daughter a bike, but we bought it off of, Facebook Market Group. There's no manual. You chain him off, took the picture, knew the exact bike, how to do it, sent me the video. So I will say this, because I hear what you're saying about the free version versus the other. If I can drive this home, right, we don't get a commission from OpenAI, right? You have to get a paid version. Period, period, period. If you pay $20 a month for yoga instead, quit yoga. Because this is going to change your life. It's not a maybe anymore. And I'm telling you, if you don't have this and someone else does, they're going to leapfrog you in life. And I use it 1,000 times a day. And I'm telling you how to get here. My daughter, it's my child psychologist, and it's amazing. It writes children's books, and it's just, so, yeah.
And we have a subscription to more than one tool.
Yeah, there's many.
We have a subscription to more than one tool. Sometimes we even compare. Hey, this one said, what do you think about what he said? And kind of,
Because it's our business, we will double check and throw in other systems.
Before I give another little obscure example here, some of you know a guy called James, who's been a student in the Bible colleges here. He's currently interviewing to be a nuclear engineer. And he felt that he needed to know a bit more about health and safety in nuclear power stations. So he came and we used ChatGPT and said, you are a senior nuclear engineer. Tell me all of the standards on design and health and safety that I need to design a nuclear power station. And I came up with like 27 different documents. And then we said, draw a diagram of how this all fits together. And it did that. So I mean, you can even design nuclear power stations on ChatGPT.
Yes.
Another thing that you can do in order to maximize your time and everything that you do, all the new models are now doing also tests. So for example, I'm into crypto and I don't have a time to read and to look for all the different newsletter, article, whatever. So one thing I can do is I can give him a test. And I can tell him that I'm too busy to go through everything, blah, blah, blah. I want you to go through all the websites, all the big ones, and every day at 11 p.m. collect 5 biggest and most important articles from the last 24 hours. And then every day, I will receive 5 articles that I can click on and go into. This one I did about a month ago. And you can see that some of them will also be...
Every day.
It's a task. Until I tell him to stop, unless I tell him like do it once, because I asked him to write a birthday, like a card for my son's birthday, just for the fun of it. But if I give him to do something every day, you can see, and I'll scroll faster. He's been doing it for over a month. Every day, something new.
You can customize it any way you want. It becomes really personal to you, right? And again, it starts getting smart when it just kind of just starts answering things. That's the whole thing about AI. It's predicting what to say next. So I mean, I've been on it every single day for hours a day for 2 years. It knows me more than anybody in my life. It knows me more than me. Unfortunately, it's scary. Professional marketing in minutes. So the easy stuff. But again, now I used to have a web services company from the beginning, from the 90s. Right? I built literally 600 websites. The big ones for AOL, and Nike, and all these guys. So much time to do copy that converts. Everybody thinks their website copy is clever and kitschy, but there's SEO that you need to be in there. It needs to be able to convert and flow. In order to do that, you need to hire an expert, and it takes time. Is he following me? Is he really giving me the info, or is he, because it's on a retainer, I gotta keep paying? You can take all your website copy, you don't have to do that anymore, like I said, collect. Take the URL, put it in there. Do a complete analysis on my website. I need to know if it converts well, I need to know if the SEO is correct, I need to know anything you think I should do and tell me. And just talk to me. I don't know what I'm doing. I want to be top of my game. It'll come back and tell you, move this button there. Write this text, rewrite all this. It's unbelievable. And that's in a matter of seconds. Social media content calendar. This is one of the biggest automations that people are asking for. So a lot of small businesses, and by the way, me as well. I've always we hired people to do our social media. It's a whole different skill. And I'm a 2.0 marketer, I market for Nike. None of it matters. Everything I've ever learned does not work on Instagram and TikTok. It's like if I'm not, your age, so you're gonna thrive, I don't know what I'm doing. It's crazy. But who knows? The smartest person in the world. So it's the time it always takes. I gotta write the perfect caption. What hashtags, right? Then I gotta schedule it every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. This thing just we create automations that completely understand your business. So for instance, what we would do, we would meet with you, we get all the information on the website. If you have more than a website, give us everything. Website, documents, and we feed it, and let the brain learn what you do. And then you ask it, and then you say, hey, look, what I'm trying to do is get more growth, more organic users, whatever you need. It'll give you a schedule, it'll write everything for you, it'll schedule it, you can literally sit back, it can answer your comments, it can notice you get the likes, it can DM people, direct message them for you. So you literally have someone working for you 24/7. Now we used to spend 15 grand a month for a social media manager. Does it in our sleep. So they're fired. It's kind of messed up, but this is where the world's going. For us, as business owner, superpower. right? If you're an employee, you know. Stand out visually. Okay, this is my work. So, for again, an artist, a graphic designer, so this hits home a lot, right? We're going to show you an example of what to do. So I wanted to start with, one thing we do because we want to use the superpower as well as coming up with businesses every day. So we went to the robot and said, look, I want to start an online business. I want some passive income, right? I believe that there's riches in the niches. Find me a niche, right, that has a big enough pool of people. I want 20,000 people to pay me $10 a month. Figure that out for me. So it started giving little niches. Like, there's 50,000 people who like train models. They're like, well, that's not good. 20,000 people out of 50,000, that's 40% conversion. No. So they said, oh, okay, I got it. Fairy gardens, believe it or not. Huh? Fairy garden collectors. Now here's something I wanted, before we do that, I want to, this is a very important lesson. We talked about not believing what it gives you in the first try sometimes. When I asked that question, it came back with two. Top ones, fairy garden and ice baths. The ice bath plunge that you guys are seeing, they said it's very trendy. People like Joe Rogan are promoting it. It would be good for you. I happen to have a lot of business and marketing knowledge, so I questioned it. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Ice bath costs $600. Now this isn't GPT, this is me. So I'm questioning it. Ice bath is $600 to $800. If someone can afford an ice bath, they're pretty wealthy probably, or doing pretty well in life. If they're doing well in life, they're probably affluent businessmen, you probably heard about this, and are not going to buy it for my Instagram ad. They're going to see it, go find it somewhere else, do research, and I'm not going to get the sale. Oh my gosh, you're absolutely correct. So what if I went that route? That would have been a problem. So you do have to check it, and then I said, well, I believe that these garden gnomes, $60, $50, way more passionate, and it's so underserved, right? That even just to get anything in there, like Elvis collectors or whatever, just anything new, I gotta have it. So what we did, I said, great. We came up with it, and I said, okay, now we found the kit. By the way, I told the AI, go on Etsy, find anything that appeals to garden, right, for fairy kit garden collectors, that has high reviews and has been selling. It found the product. It was a $40 product. I said, great. Now what it did, it wrote the commercial for me. I said, I need a commercial. And it started describing the images, so here's what we did. We created that image for the commercial. And within about 30 seconds, turned it into that. That is a $20,000 animation. All day, every day. I used to do this, all day. And that's about a month. We'll see in a month, $20,000. I did it in about 30, not right, a minute. And we go to the next one, so I wanted to piece it together. This is actually from the kit. So, okay, that's cool, let's do this to it. Insane. Character animation is so expensive, right? That was another 2 minutes. Then, this one. Oh my gosh, right? Humans. Let's see, play on that. That's from one still image. Doesn't exist. I just said, I want a girl, she's cute. And I worked with it, and I said, nah, she was too old, not younger, this. And it's perfect image, one still, put it into another AI, 1 minute. That happens. Now we tie it all together, and by the way, took the script, went to 11 Labs, another AI. I said, I want a voice. And what kind of voice should I have? They said, a man, a little authoritative. They go, you know what? Go with a nice British calm voice. They go, good idea. So we threw that up there, and this is the final product.
Ever wish your garden had a little magic in it? This complete fairy garden kit turns any pot or patch of earth into an enchanted world, complete with moss, figurines, and a handmade fairy house. It comes with everything you need to create your own miniature scene, from tiny steps and signs to a cottage with a working door. Every piece is handcrafted with love and built to last outdoors or in. It's the perfect gift for kids, moms, or anyone who needs a little whimsy in their life. Tap the link in the description to bring your own fairy world to life.
Copywriting, images, video, voiceover, right? Look, we've done this for a long time. I've been advertising a lot. It took me a day and a half, okay? It'll take you a week. It's not going to take you 2 months and a $100,000 shoot. It's unbelievably mind-blowing. So imagine
the first time we demonstrated it in one of those presentations, we had a lady that almost passed out. Because her business is all about that. It was dog images or something?
She has a kennel.
Yeah, and she used to go to a photographer, and it would take her 2 months until bring it back, and then to make a video out of it, she spent thousands of dollars, and we showed her that, and she was sitting, and she just melted on the sofa.
We took a still image of her dog, and the biggest issue is, of course, working with kids, by the way. Kids, they say never work with kids or pets in entertainment. It's really she had to take this dog out to get these perfect shoots, and they're moving, and it's crazy. She gave us one image, and I put that dog in front of the Eiffel Tower, we put it in front of the Eiffel Tower Pizza just to mess with her. You know, we had it waving, incredible, and it was her dog. It's not just a dog. It was her.
Which tool do you use for that?
Normal is a different one, right?
Well, no, so now is beautiful is ChatGPT creates the image. There's another one called Midjourney. You don't need it anymore. ChatGPT does it, paid version.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't need to change for another one.
No, so for the video you do. But for the stills, and so for here we could do the script, ChatGPT. We take the script and say, hey, I'm gonna make a video now. I need you to create an image for each scene. It made all the images.
And the video one is, what is the name?
The other one, there's dozens, but there's cleaned.
Even with ChatGPT, you can do the video.
We'll send it to you. Now ChatGPT is doing the We'll send you everything, yeah. There are many, yeah. All right, so any questions? Focus on what matters. It's a contract review. We're going to show you that as well. I'm not exaggerating when we say hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal the last 6 months. It's the worst. You guys know lawyers are the worst. They tie you up so all the lawyers can make money and you can't. And when it's very complex, now again, if someone gives me a document this thick, you know, and it's a really important unit, we're going to put it in there. It's going to automatically tell us if there's any red flags, this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, if it's a big deal, go to a lawyer. But you're going to save 80% in cost because you did the work. Oh, and I should mention, and this isn't this is actually, has been listed, the top 2 industries to lose their jobs. Number 1, legal.
Yeah.
Number 1. Number 2, programmers. Programmers.
And animators.
Animators, artists, all that.
Yeah.
Lawyers and programmers, which is crazy because, right, it's funny what we were saying about the mid-tier jobs. You know who's not losing a job? Mechanic, cutting hair, restaurant, chef, right? Who's losing the jobs? 200 grand a year, 250 grand a year. So I had a team of guys who were 26 years old making 180 to 250 grand a year. And we're paying them for 6 years. And they're all out of work. And their problem is, so they're like, we can do this, we're programmers. The thinkers are the new winners, okay? Because what I have to do is think of an idea, I've got a great idea. I gotta hire all these people, I gotta deal with them, make sure I get the idea out. Now I got the fastest people in the world, the robots, and it's our idea. So those 4 guys were programmers, and their job was tell me what to build next for my salary, right? Now they're at their own going, what do I build? So it's an issue, but for the thinkers and the entrepreneurs, it's superpower.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you a real example. This is an actual contract, a lease contract I got when I moved here. It has the English side, it has the Portuguese side. Both sides felt gibberish to me because I'm not a lawyer. The first thing I did was to put this contract into ChatGPT. I'm going to do a quick one with you guys, or 2, just to show you a point. And I will put the file in the system, and then I will tell them what I want to do. We'll start with the first one. Hey, I got this contract for a lease for an apartment I want to rent here. I don't really understand it, and half of it is Portuguese, and the other half is lawyer gibberish. I want you to go over it. I want you to tell me if there are any red flags, if something doesn't feel right. I want you also to compare the 2 sides, the English and the Portuguese one, to make sure that both of them are the same. Let me know what you think. I don't even check if I made mistakes spelling. He'll understand me. Now he's going to read and going to review, he's going to compare both sides, he's going to put his lawyer hat, and in a few seconds, the connection is a bit slow here, that's why it's taking me.
And by the way, the way we say, you know, 80%, it's 80% right, 85% right. 6 months from now, it's, you know, we want to teach you the good habits now. You will be able to trust it, like 100%. It's getting there, just right now, be a little careful, but I always say 6 months, it can be 2. It's just happening so fast.
So he gave me some points, red flags. There are quite a lot. I'll spoil the end. I didn't went with that apartment. There are too many red flags. I asked him to write a new contract based on this one with the correction. didn't work out, so I said, never mind. So I want to show you another one, because this one just showed red flags and the English and the Portuguese were the same, but I made another one and I made some changes, and I'll ask him to do the same thing, just to pay attention to both languages. And so they brought me back another contract. I want you to take a look at this one as well, and I want you to, again, compare the English and the Portuguese one. Tell me what you think. For me, not understanding any of the language, any of the terms could have been a big problem if I went with that contract, and I'm kind of been stuck with all the different things that he said that are allowed or not allowed. This version is even more dangerous, because even if you read the English, when you look at the Portuguese side, then you might have problem. Let's see what he said. So now it said that the landlord may evict you without notice. This is something I implanted into the Portuguese side.
For the sake of this demo, in Portuguese, he had that in there, right? Just a little thing to see, and it caught it, of course, but yes.
Landlord may move in and take the master bedroom. So massive red flags. Didn't have to pay for a lawyer. Caught it myself.
What slide number are we on? So I can see which one this is.
Ita, one quick question. You can do this also in your own language, right? So if you're not
Oh,
English speaking, you can also put the prompt in Dutch or in Spanish. Or
any
So
language.
it's a good one, Stefan. Thank you. Yeah, when I did it originally, before I moved here, my correspondence with him was in Hebrew. Sometimes if I need something, it will be English. If I know any other languages, it might be that one, but he will reply to you in any language that you want. No, it's well. Go back.
Yeah, so also then financial insights is important, right? So this is a personal financial analyst. It can track your monthly expenses, revenue trends, forecasting cash flow. Again, all the stuff that I always needed a controller, right, or a CFO to do so, I don't need anymore. It can tap into my bank if I wanted it to. It can tap into all our sales reports and everything, and it can predictively tell us, you know, hey, it strips emotion out of it, right? This is one thing we always have. You know, I have this great idea. I know you love this idea. All the data says go this way. You should follow the data, right? So, and sometimes to get that granular data, it costs a lot of money and expertise. You never know if it's real or not. So it's just wild. You know, we always say, man, if you have like a big company or a mid-sized company, it is insane the efficiencies you can see. Again, it's a sad and hard decision you have to make depending on the culture of your business and stuff. But you know, if you're spending $100,000 a month for whatever reason on staff, it's probably going to be 20. You know, and there's things at this point in life, you got it's hard decisions to make. You know, we had that in our company, but it was adapt or die. So it's just again, I keep going back to saying what a superpower it is. It's something we need to harness. All right, next one.
So how far off of the one-man unicorn do you think now?
9 months ago, we have 6 programs that we built in 5 weeks in a room alone with $200 each, and one of them might end up hitting. These are complex apps. I'm not going, hey, I have an idea. I'll give you guys an example just real quick. So at Stay Healthy, we built an app called the BFI, which is a body track meter. What's that?
For the video?
No, not yet.
You can create graphics with it.
Was that?
Sorry, I'm always doing this. I'm always asking.
Please.
No, it's good. It's a conversation more than anything.
And I'm Portuguese, so sometimes I don't understand everything that you guys are saying. It's possible to ask him to do application? Is that
Yeah, mobile applications. Not necessarily this one, even though it can. But no, yes. So what I was saying is we built an app for my Stay Healthy company. Okay, it's called Stay Healthy. The app cost $1.5 million. It took us 18 months to build. Okay, very complex, biometrics, this and that. Built an app 3 weeks ago for menopause. It's called Amino Plus. It's the most robust menopause app ever that also deals with diet and how it affects systems. It's a $2-3 million app, okay, and at least a year and a half. I built it for $2,000 and 6 weeks. Okay, now I have a lot of expertise, so maybe that would have cost 20, but not $1.5 million in 18 months. So It is unbelievable. Yeah. And by the way, what does that allow us to do? It's quickly prototype. Boom, check it out, check it, did it test well, good, build more. If not, next one. But you could build 20 apps, that could fail and make you $2,000 a month. That's a failure, not if you own 20 of them. Right? So just many ways to use it. Personalization at scale. And sorry, I'm being mindful of time, so I'm trying to talk faster. This is amazing, right? So sales. That's another thing. So I like to sell, I'm a salesman, whoever does sales here, it's a grind, it is what it is. Good salesmen have their pitch down, they go and they use the same thing with everybody. I use the analogy for poker. If you play pretty good poker, you sit down, you have a solid game, you do okay. A great poker player sits with you and plays one way, realizes who you are, plays another way, realizes you, okay? So, I have an idea and I want to, not regard the menopause now, okay? And I want to partner. I want to partner with companies in that industry. So I'm going to tell the robot, go on LinkedIn, and I want to find first actually ask him, tell me the kind of companies I should talk to. So it will tell me. Then I'll say, what position should I be talking to? They go, hit the CEO, hit the CMO, hit the CFO. And by the way, hit the low-level sales guy, because he might run up the flagpole and you want to hit some excitement. What would normally somebody do? Write the same letter and send it to all of them, okay? What does the robot do within seconds, okay? Okay, we said CMO, it's great that he found it. He knows everything about the CEO, because he can look at he can look at articles, this guy's bullish, he's kind of a jerk. He's no nonsense, they'll give him fluff. So it's going to write that for the CMO. CMO, head in the clouds, blue skies, give him dreams. Sales guy, make him feel powerful, right? And within seconds, it rewrites the same message, hits them all. They don't hear back in 3 days, email sequence. Someone says something negative, give them this reply. Positive, give them this reply to set up the date. At scale, press a button, right?
Everything is automated.
Everything's automated. So imagine the lead generation now, how fast you can lead people on.
Can send everything.
All automation.
That's the beauty between AI and
You
automation. AI is the brain, automation is the body. You connect the two, you have a...
And you can set the control. Correct.
That's better.
Correct. Better, stronger, faster, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, at scale is amazing. You guys have seen this, so from a plan to hours, just for sake of time, we don't do another demo, but all we do is say, hey, remember my iced coffee business? Give me a finance. If you want to say it, tell me, but it will literally give us 5-year financials, which generally would take months and $20,000 with the CFO. It will give me the marketing plans, everything, in a matter of a minute or 3, you know what I mean? So, more of that. Consultant, so the whole thing, this is what we've been talking about, right? It's literally like having McKinsey or a giant consultant in your pocket. You spend 30 grand for just the advice. So, we threw a lot at you today, but let's not take it for granted. Even the small stuff. Let's be real honest of how long it would have took to read that 67-page document. How long would it take to check his lease? How long would it take to make that commercial? So it's just, it's mind-blowing, right? This next one I want to show you. Oh, we didn't show that. Show the video of that. UGC. Oh, that's cool stuff.
Cool stuff, yeah.
Okay, so that's our presentation, a little bit about what AI does, but we're going to show you guys some really cool demos in a minute. But what we do, and again, why we do this, is we want to meet business owners, right? We want to meet like-minded people. We moved here, just like you guys. We just kind of want to find our way. If anybody's really interested in a business and you think this can help, we meet you guys. We meet with you for 60 to 90 minutes, whatever it takes, just to learn about it. What are your pain points? What are your pain points? It's getting dry. You tell us what your pain points are, right? And what we do is we put together something called the AI Playbook 360. So the cost varies depending on how small. We have somebody who's a one-woman show. She does essential oils. By the way, her productivity went 30% through the roof. She's only been a client for 2 months. It cost her $500. We made her the AI Playbook. What the Playbook does is we learn everything about your company and your pain points. And you get back literally a PDF, right? Or a clickable PDF, which is your playbook. It will tell you everything. If you do the work, it might take you months. I don't know how fast you're. So if you do the work, you never have to call us again. There's no bait and switch. We're handing you the keys to the castle for real. Along the way, a lot of people get tripped up on certain things. Look, I'm just not a marketing guy, no matter what. Can you help us? Then we meet. We can either pass you on to a partner of ours or help you ourselves. You know, but that's basically the gist of it. It's very custom to your business. You know, we could show you a quick example of one we created. So this is the one that we're sending to the essential oil business. Just to give you an example of how robust, you know, the book is that you'll get. Now again, one woman, right, in her home, it's a much, much smaller business. So she got even more out of it, by the way. Social media, all her labels were wrong. We helped her with that. Her whole thing was she was meeting people just one-on-one, and she wanted to go sell to the big spas. And we said, you can't take this material to a spa. It looks like you did it at your home. So within a week, we created some amazing things for her, and she now looks like she might get a deal with Tivoli. She's meeting with the big spas and hotels, but let's go to the I don't know how to scroll. You just go to the top and I'll just pop it over and scroll. All right, let's see here. All right, so for instance, it's okay, so you get a social media strategy schedule. We can just go. It even tells you what, so if you see here, we don't say, hey, go use this social media thing, sign up and figure it out. We actually take screenshots of the actual place, how to sign it up, exactly what to do, what not to press. We really walk you through everything. We give you an example of the prompts. So all her descriptions were wrong on the website. It was horrible. So we took 3, we fixed them, and we said, now you're going to take all these 3, put them in GPT, and say, now do this for all my other sites. And it comes out, right?
Mock-up solutions.
Mock-up solutions, how to use the video programs, everything. How to make a video, how to make an ad, everything that. So that's sort of the thing we do. I want to show you guys now some a little more advanced demos that we're going to share, and then we'll just open up for discussion. You got on time still?
Yeah.
Great. All right, so let's have some fun.
Yeah, that's first of all. Show the image.
All right, this is some cool stuff.
You can imagine who's whom here. It's easier to spot. Pay for those meetings. That's for them.
All right, so you guys have actually, no, it's okay. Have you guys ever seen the movie The Matrix? When The Matrix came out, they had this amazing thing called bullet time effect. Remember he did this thing? Show the green screen. That's what you need to create that. It was back then, it was about $1.5 million for a 10-second clip, right? So, back to the coffee idea, we have a coffee card idea thing. We went ahead and generated, I needed that guy because of the demographic, and he gave me that. And I said, I want a bullet time effect for my Instagram ad. And I did that. How does it know what it's going to look like with the eyes opening and turning and not multiple images, one image? Insane, right? And that's us rushing. Just imagine what you do, right? This one is wild, so let's hit it and hit play. All right, this is very important, something that you were saying.
So, I don't.
All right, so this is a very important use case that I want to explain. We had a company called Parallel Health. Our company was Stay Healthy. We had to go pitch these guys on the fact that we know how to do cloning humans, right? You can clone yourself, so it could be your avatar. That's my other business partner over in LA. I didn't understand how to describe it, so I asked him to describe it. So this is a video we sent to the Parallel Health team. It's only a minute, but you have to watch it because there's a little surprise there. But it explains what we do.
So, I don't really have time to put together a one-pager right now, but if you want to just forward this video to the Parallel Health team, I can give a sort of 60-second rundown on what we offer. Basically, we create human-like AI videos that can talk about your product, service, or anything you want. So we make UGC-style videos, podcasts, testimonials, whatever you need. It's very straightforward. We learn about their business, build the strategy, choose the AI actor, write the script, and edit the video to drive results. My co-founder and I have managed hundreds of millions of dollars in social media ads, so we know what works, and we use the best tools to make videos that look real and convert. That's the gist, Zig. I think the only other thing to highlight is that if the Parallel Health team made it this far, it's probably time I tell them that I'm not real. I am completely AI, and this is the type of video that I can make for them.
Or me, totally AI. I mean, I could do it. I could talk about your products, and I'm definitely not human.
Or I could do it.
How about me?
I mean, I could do it. I could talk about your products, and I'm definitely not human. I could make social content, podcast clips about skincare, or I could even talk about parallel health, whatever you need. I'm AI, but nobody would ever know, and I love parallel health. If you guys need another, I could definitely chime in.
And of course, there's always me. Look, I get it, it's getting a little freaky. AI is rapidly advancing and getting hard to distinguish, but early adopters will win big. Anyway, thanks again, Zig. Hope the fam as well. Let's chat soon.
Thanks, Ziggy.
Thanks, Zig.
Thanks, Ziggy.
Insanity or what? Okay, so, but what does it mean, right? It's like, oh my gosh, the amount, you were saying, you could be at 1,000 places at once. By the way, influencers, sorry, are over. Influencers are done. It is over. You got an influencer that has 1 million followers and you want to pay him to talk about your product. That's what a UGC is, user-generated content. You got to get enough people excited to hopefully take it, spend their time, sell it, and then ask them for some money. Why? You know, who's my demographic? If I'm doing, AARP, I'll get the guy at the end to do all my pitching. Hey, I use this product, it's amazing, right? Now, I wouldn't do it with medical, there's ethics. I'm not going to do it with the menopause app. I'm not going to have pretend women saying it helps them. That's crazy. But if I'm selling my fairy garden kit, by all means, I have 100 people saying, oh, I lit my garden, it was amazing, right? And then we find the right actor that worked, and we do more of that. So, just the power of it, right? Celebrities, their digital persona is worth more than their regular. Kim Kardashian used to get paid $15 million to come to your party on New Year's Eve, to drop the ball. She said, instead, why don't you clone me? I'm going to be in 140 countries for $1 million on video. And it's her, and it's undistinguishable that she's made $140 million being digital. So, this is where it's going. Coca-Cola? Yeah, so this is an interesting thing you'll see with the graphic program. We wanted to do, this is just a test. Let's say we want to do an ad for a Coca-Cola ad. Not a photographer, I'm not a designer pretending. So we go and we find that. I'm like, that's a good look. I like just the way that, I like the sun on him, it's saturated, it looks real, right? But he's not holding the Coca-Cola. And you know what I said? Have him hold the Coca-Cola can and put some sunglasses on him and a t-shirt that says I love AI. And you know what he seconds, right? And by the way, this is awful. It took us seconds just for this demo. We can make it amazing, right? And then by the way, now bring him to life. Ah, I love Coke, right? All for nothing. And just fun stuff. Oh, you want to show that other UGC video? That with the girl? So this is the one for,
Hello, my name is Masha. I first would like to thank Stay Healthy for allowing me to share with you everything there is to know about perimenopause. What is perimenopause? Perimenopause
so
represents
robotic. By the way, did that video 8 months ago. Today it's just mind-blowing, right? We don't have the gig anymore. And then just fun stuff. You want to show the blister pack? This was something I did for some marketing. When we first started, we were going to do this stuff. That's me, a lot rougher and better looking up there.
And he managed to do it a lot better than I did. I tried to get out of the box, I just couldn't. I had like a technical problem and mine was stuck in the box. Trying to get out. At the end I managed to fall down.
And I think that is our, no, what do we have here? Oh, ethics. Right? You guys want to see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
We can show the.
All right, so this is, I'm going to show you my glasses. So we did a video, so we didn't do it this live because we didn't want the latency to be an issue. This is the menopause app, because I want to show you when you say can you build apps, how complex this app is. This is just the onboarding. So I'll zip through it. So it asks you, perimenopause, menopause, so there's a peri. When is your last period? There's a calendar. What are your symptoms? What is the severity of it? Right? Health conditions existing, you go next. Now, what's your food preference? It's important. Are you a vegan? Are you Mediterranean? We still like vegan to make it difficult to show us, right? I don't eat fish, I don't eat dairy, I have an allergy, and I don't like spicy foods. And you know what? I want to make sure we concentrate on anti-inflammatory, and I like to cook. So we can do 30 minutes. I don't need 15-minute meals. All right? What are your health goals? This is so expensive and takes so much time to build, and this took, about 2 weeks or the onboarding almost. Not even, about a week and a half. And now, it sets up your profile and it knows who you are. So, we're going to do another video. So now it knows who you are, and it goes, you check in every single day and ask you, what's your mood today? And it can tell you, are you low energy, are you excited? So I think we did low energy. Now this is recommending all the vegan meals, right? So today's meal, I can heart them, like them, and favorite it. I'll click on my profile. So this is one of the meals. It shows the nutrition. It shows the recipe. It shows what the health benefits and what symptoms that recipe can affect.
Where does that, the content come from? Where the rules, the algorithms sitting behind those questions you just asked on the front end there? Where's all the back end code, knowledge?
The AI creates this thing called Supabase, which is our database in the back end, and it creates all the algorithms. So it scraped everything it knows about this topic and built it. And then we took this and we checked it in 3 other AI apps, and it's completely accurate. And it's funny, you ask where. I don't even know.
I'm guessing your experience with menopause is somewhat limited.
0. Exactly, 0. But I can go hire an expert, who knows better. Every data point ever on menopause will work, or did it. And by the way, when we built it, this was the most important thing. I told them what we wanted to build, and I said the first thing you gotta do is pull all the menopause apps that are on the market, highest rating, top earners, and tell me what they're lacking. I don't want to build this app if it's a copycat app. And the number one thing that none of them do is concentrate on diet. How the diet affects the menopause symptoms and things like that. It's mind-blowing. And they were like, you have a winner here. And then I didn't take it, took it into 3 other systems that were like, you have a winner, so we started doing it. And didn't have to go raise $1.5 million. Anyways, bunch of stuff.
That's me out of business then.
So anyways, that's that. So that is our presentation. If you guys want to.
I suggest we have a few minutes to process that. We'll have everyone to take on board this. Why don't we just grab some more drinks and biscuits and things, then we'll get back together. And I think, probably, I would imagine from the conversations I've heard going on in the break, it's exceeded your expectations in terms of what we've done. So I'm just going to ask a few people now to talk about what they think they've learned from it, how they think they can apply it in their own business, and then also to get the expert comments on that. So can I start with you, Andrew? You've got a telecoms and cyber security business in Dubai.
Yeah.
What have you learned from this, and what are you thinking that you do?
I'll only stand up so I'm not looking. You're not looking at the back of my head. Similar characteristics. Yeah, so I've been here for just over 2 years, but I still have my business in Dubai, and we do telecoms for B2B, so sort of more serious level than home internet type stuff. And we also do cyber security. So I'm the chairman now. I was a CEO until 2 years ago, and my number 2 is now the CEO. This has really inspired me because I've got 2 main problems. One is I've really struggled to scale it and grow it, and 2 is as a linked result of that, I've struggled to get it to a position to exit. And now I'm going to go back and talk to Shandor as the CEO and do 2 main things. Firstly, look at all the way we generate the whole marketing strategy, review all of that, teach the system about my business, get it to analyse what we're doing now, what we can do better. I know he's a very tech-savvy guy. I know he's been using a lot of AI tools, but I, to my shame, have been a bit more hands-off, so I'm going to get much more into that. And then see how we can optimise that to start to drive iterative growth, and hopefully on the track that we want. Secondly, having fed it all into the system, I'm going to ask it to give me some ideas about how I can sell business. So who are the likely candidates for this, and that idea about, well, let's pick, it's usually CFO, probably somebody else, maybe chief marketing, chief strategy officer, figure out who those guys are or girls, how to approach them, put together a whole sort of sales strategy instead of hiring an investment banker. And try to sort of get try to get to a point where I can engage some serious conversation. So those 2 things are plenty for me to get on with. But yeah, really useful.
Any specifics that what you've now learned of Andrew's situation?
No, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. So if you didn't have your partner very AI savvy, you could benefit from the playbook. Right? The playbook will tell you exactly the things that you're looking for, and he gets to implement it, which is great. So you literally can take a playbook and run with it. but you have all the right things. You're asking the right questions. You're asking, just work with GPT.
Yeah.
If you hit a wall, you can come to us. We can help you scale it even better. But you're doing the right things.
Just challenge it.
Just
Challenge it a lot. You understand, the beauty is you understand your business. And you know the right question to ask and the right places to say like, wait a minute. No, go again.
It's like everything, right? Garbage in, garbage out. So, I still have, the mother-in-law, right? He wants to prove me that AI is not good, right? So she'll say, oh yeah, well I asked it and look at the answer. She would have asked, I have a company, how do I exit? So the more you give it, and they think I'm crazy when I talk to it, because she'll say it's something as simple as, I want a description. I want a description for my coffee. I want a description for my latte for my iced coffee business. That's what most people would say. I would say, I have a place on Mansell, right? Most people that come here are from, expats, blah, blah, blah. It's hot, so at 90 degrees. The neighbors is this business, that neighbor is this business. I'm gonna give it as much as it can, because why not? And it's unbelievable how much of a difference that makes. You know your business, you're just gonna talk to it really well when you do it.
Yes. Anyway, thanks for being inspirational.
Thank you. Jürgen, you've got a home automation business, I think, that's the best way of describing it. You want to build it to become like number one in the Algarve. I think you said you're already doing a little bit with AI. What would you say you've learned tonight, and how's that going to impact your own?
Second time saying no. It's not the first time I'm listening to.
He's a returning visitor.
All
right.
Yeah, and I listened to Siggy over there and Julian, and I must say you really inspired me. With that, we should have been in contact already, but I had a lot of things to do, but we definitely will, because after this, we were using AI a little bit in the office, but actually after this, this was really an eye-opener. And so our main goal is to reduce non-billable hours in our business, because we have billable hours basically we really can show that we're programming, we're installing, but there's also a lot of research in our field, because always like the pinnacle of technology and things are changing all the time, and there's calculations and there's a lot of schematics and drawings which are not really needed by the clients, but we do them nevertheless in order to just have quicker access to the system and understand it and have things done